And welcome back. You know, parents, raising kids is hard enough, especially in the tween and teen years. And then when you have complications like anxiety and depression layered on top, that's when things get really hard. And that's why we brought in our next guest. We have Dr. Gayani DeSilva. She happens to be a child and tween psychologist and the author of the book, A Psychiatrist Guide, Helping Parents Reach Their Depressed Tweens. And she's here to help give some advice for anyone watching today who may be up against a couple of roadblocks when it comes to helping their child navigate the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so why is it so often that we hear that parents and tweens kind of have a bit of a disconnect?
Well, you know that in America, according to the American Association of Child and Adolescent Psychiatrists, that 5% of children are depressed at any given time.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's vitally important that parents understand how they can help heal their child.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's the job of a parent, is to help their child navigate this world, and especially when it comes to those emotional heavy issues, you know, that we all come up with. And so depression, I know, is a huge one. Anxiety is also another.
Yes, and depression and anxiety go hand in hand.
Okay.
And today, tweens, the ages between about 8 and 13, are bombarded by so many complications in society these days. So it becomes even more important for parents to really understand. And in my book, I do have 10 tools and a bunch of other ways that parents can connect to their tween and really be a vital and important part of the treatment team, even more so than their psychiatrists and therapists.
Great.
Parents
so this is a very helpful roadmap for a lot of parents watching. I would like to know up front, though, what are some of those signs of depression that we need to keep an eye out for in the, in our children, in our tweens specifically?
So in our tweens, it may not look the same as in adults. Tweens may be very irritable. They may be sullen and withdrawn. They may be seem to be rude. They may not eat. They may be stuck in their rooms. They may not do their favorite activities. They may not be playing soccer like they used to. They may not seem to be enjoying very much. Or they may seem to have fun in small spurts, but then go back to being really sullen and irritable and depressed. And if they're anxious, they're not going to be going to school. They're not going to be doing their work. They're not going to be interacting with their family and their friends.
So then, as parents, then what can we do to help reach out to our children and start that communication? Because that's at least the beginning, right? You have to open that line of communication.
Yes. It's so important the way that parents present themselves to their children, especially when children are depressed and anxious, because it's different than when they're not depressed and anxious. So some of my favorite tools are, one is to have what I call rocking chair time.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a rocking chair, but just a space for parents to connect, where you can sit next to each other, where you can kind of cuddle, where you can give space to the child to have their thoughts and their feelings, where you can just talk about your own feelings, to validate the child. In this space, you can do the 10 tools, which include validation, setting expectations for the day, and also for not pressing them too much to reveal all their feelings and their experiences.
Okay, so you don't want to be too aggressive when you're trying to start that communication. You don't want them to feel like they're being backed into a corner, right?
No, not at all.
That may make them close up even more. Okay, with them, that's great. And I love the idea of the rocking chair time, as you call it. It seems to be that safe space, right?
It is.
Where it's okay to open up and talk.
And you can connect by touching, too.
Yes.
You know, you can cuddle with your child, and even if you're talking about something very difficult, or you're talking about something really enjoyable, you're making that connection. You're on the same side with them, and they feel that you are in the trenches with them. You're right there, you're right next to them. They can be depressed, they can be anxious, and they know that it's a journey that they're taking with their parents.
I like that, a journey taking with their parents opposed to feeling all alone, because it's let's face it, this is a difficult time to raise kids because of technology.
Right.
It's a wonder, it's a great tool and asset, but generations before us have never really had to deal with that with raising kids. And I know for myself as a parent, you know, I can talk to my elders about some guidance with raising my children, but there are new challenges in this day and age that no one's ever faced before. So that makes it even more challenging. So I think to have a guide like this is so welcomed and so needed on so many levels. So where can our viewers go to find this resource?
Well, they can find it at their bookstores. They can find it on Amazon. They can find it at Barnes & Noble. You just Google my name and it'll pop up.
Excellent. So Barnes & Noble, or find it online. I know we're all looking for a little guidance when it comes to figuring out the best way to help our children navigate this very fast-paced, very informed world, but that also presents new social challenges. So important on all levels. And I know we focused a lot on depression, but this also helps with anxiety as well, too. Right?
Absolutely, because depression and anxiety go hand in hand, and oftentimes depression and anxiety are there at the same time. And kids who are anxious will have these peaks of depression also, because anxiety is so hard to live with.
Yes.
You're constantly wondering about if you're doing the right thing, if you're going to be judged, if if something bad is going to happen, and that leads to depression also.
Yes.
And depression can lead to anxiety.
All right. So they're evil twins right there.
Yes.
Okay. And so once again, give us your website.
It's www.lagunafamily.com.
Excellent. Dr. DeSilva, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.